Hey, and welcome. Let's have a conversation today. Hope everybody's doing well. It's a beautiful day, and I just want to talk about a few things. Nothing crazy. Excuse me. I gotta adjust this. Hold on. I thought I had it just right. Apparently, I was just wrong. There we go. Okay. So, hi. I hope you're doing well, and I'm happy that you're here. Today, I have some things on my mind. Nothing crazy. Nothing crazy. Um, How many of you out there are struggling? I am struggling. I'm struggling. I'm struggling mentally. I'm struggling financially. I'm struggling. And I'm sure I'm not the only one. I know I'm not the only one. So I don't really know what to do about it, as I'm sure you don't either. We got prices that have gone up crazy. Uh, and I don't know. I'm sorry. Excuse me. I don't know if I've talked about it, but it seems like I'm having less and less grooming clients. As I've mentioned in other videos, I am a dog groomer. I work for myself out of my home, and things have slowed down a lot in the last 6, 8 months. And it's made it difficult for me to make the bills, to meet the bills. And I'm trying to decide how I want to proceed. Excuse me. As I'm sure many of you struggle with this on a regular basis. It's sad that we get to the age that we have to worry about this. I used to think, and wrongly so, now that I've gotten older, I used to think that older people had money. I used to think that older people um, didn't have to worry about stuff, that they had money, that they could, do what they want. And I never understood when my mother-in-law would say, "We're on a fixed income." I'm like, "Well, my income's fixed. I don't make any more money than, it's the same money, whatever." I didn't understand. Well, you get to a point where you do finally get it. You understand. And as I also spoke in another video, I talked about the fact that retirement is most likely unachievable for me for several reasons. One reason being, as long as I'm able to work, I still want to maintain the lifestyle that I like to live. Now, currently, I am struggling to maintain that lifestyle even as I am working, but I have a certain way I like to live. I like to do a little traveling. I like to do a little going out to eat and stuff like that. And again, I'm struggling with that even as we speak. But if I was retired, I'm told that would get much worse, and I can understand how that would be. I understand a whole lot more now. So, um, yeah, I just don't think that retirement is going to be in the cards for me. So, I'm doing the dog grooming, but it's slowly. It used to be I could work 5, 6 days a week and still have more dogs than I could do. And now I am struggling to get 3, 4 days in a week. Um, I'm not complaining. It is a blessing that I can work from my home and I can still make some money, but I have bills that need to be paid and struggling with getting them paid, not having enough clients. I am so sorry, guys. The weather is absolutely gorgeous. Um, couldn't ask for better, to be honest. Sunny. It's not humid. There's a light breeze. It's probably mid 70s, so it's nice. But also, not only, you know, retirement, I look around and I see these people. Now, I am not blaming anyone for the fact that business seems to be slowing down. I am blaming possibly the economy and gas prices and different things. That's most likely the problem. But there are so many people out there who play this victim mentality. And what I mean by that is you probably already know nothing is ever their fault. Nothing is ever their fault. If they do something dumb and then they get in trouble for it or something happens, they say, it wasn't my fault. It was somebody else's. It was so and so made me do it. Or if they hadn't have done that, I wouldn't have done this and then I wouldn't be in trouble. So it's their fault. I am the victim. And I see so many people play that card, that victim card, and it just makes me angry. When you start putting yourself in a victim mentality, it becomes this big circle of it's something you can't get out of. It's just this big round and round, and nothing ever gets better. You can't get better until you decide that you're responsible for you and you step up and say, okay, I did this. How can we fix it? How can I move on from this? And how do I not do this again? Instead of saying that, you play the victim and you blame everybody else. And I always said that I feel like the victim mentality is because the person doesn't want to to fix what's wrong. I feel like they don't want to do the work that it takes to overcome, so they just play the victim. For example, I've had people work for me. We've talked about this before, but I had this one lady. Her husband had passed away in March, and I brought her on to help me out. It was a temporary thing. I just wanted to help her get on her feet, so I brought her on as a secretary, a receptionist in my dog grooming shop. Now her job was to check people in, find out what they wanted done with their dog, make sure she writes it. Each dog has its own card, write it on the card, make sure that you have the right phone number, bring the dog back, give it a bath, dry it, put it in the kennel for me to groom. Meantime, in between, she was to answer the phone and make appointments. And then towards the end of the day, I wanted her to call the next day's clients and remind them. And she was okay for the first month or so. And then she started getting on these dating sites and things. And I could see her on, I have cameras in my shop because I need to see when people are coming in and stuff. Because sometimes I work by myself. A lot of times now I work by myself. But so I would see her on the camera and they're just tapping away on her phone. And I'm like, what is she doing? Right. And come to find out, she was spending 90% of her time. That's a peacock yelling. It's a female peacock. She's down there just having a good time. Anyway, so I found out she's on these dating sites, not one, but several dating sites. And she was always complaining that she didn't have enough money, that she needed more money, needed more money. And she was paying like $35 a month per dating site. And she was going out. All she did was worry about going out that night and who she was meeting up with and who she was hooking up with. And yeah, it got pretty rough. Um, and I let this go on for a little while. And finally, I'm like, enough is enough. You're not doing your job. I'm going to have to let you go. This was a temporary gig anyway. You need to move on. And this is where the victim mentality comes in. Automatically, it was my fault. I am a horrible person. When I let her go, she made sure she went out and told everybody all kinds of horrible, horrible things about me. I had clients that didn't come back, that never came back, that most likely believed the stuff that she said. I I did have one lady come in, she brought her dog back and she still comes to me. She said, I don't believe nothing she said. I worked with her years ago and she was this, this, this. And I'm like, oh my. I said I was just trying to help her out because, her husband had passed and she needed a place to land. And I just wanted to be nice. And yeah, so she likes to play the victim, and she always plays the victim. And there are many, many people out there like her. And I often wonder where that comes from. Um, but again, I really think it goes back to, well, this lady, I don't think she can see. I don't think she can. I think there's a mental block and she can't see. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. But also, again, as I said earlier in the video, I think that a lot of people don't want to take the time or the energy to change themselves. They don't want to do the work. Uh, I always believe in putting in the work. I believe in putting in the work to make yourself a better person, to make your life a better life. And playing the victim is definitely not the way to go if you want a better life. But yet we have that. We have that all the time. I have I am so sorry. I don't know what's going on today. I don't know if there's pollen, but I don't really I don't know. Could be. I have some allergies. Sorry guys. Um and then also I think a lot of it goes back to also that people don't actually want to work. I think this was part of her problem. She didn't really want to work. She just wanted to make the money. So she would come in and she'd put in the time, but it's not her business. It's my business that I put my blood, sweat, and tears in to grow, to nurture, and, you know, to make a success. And then you come in and you're not answering calls like you should. You're not returning calls like you should. You're not doing the things that you should. So, you're still getting a paycheck, but my paycheck's going down. Does that make sense to you? My money is becoming less and she's still getting the same. So she's doing less work and still getting the same. People want to make money, but they don't want to work. Plus, they want to blame other people for their mistakes and their misjudgment, bad judgment. I don't know. I don't know. Um, but yeah, so that's kind of my gripe. Right now I am working with my sister, which is working out okay. We do okay. We worked together for years. We used to milk cows together here on the farm. We sometimes have our differences. It is what it is. You can't work with somebody and not have your differences. But we're not working 6 days a week, 5 days a week. We're working two, three, sometimes four, and retirement's not in the cards. And I don't blame anybody but me. I could have, I guess, years ago started a retirement plan. I probably should have. But I worked on the farm and we didn't have retirement plans or anything like that. We paid in Social Security, but that was it. So it's something that I didn't give a lot of thought, of course, until I needed it. And now here we are, and I'm going to have to rely on Social Security, which is not the best idea. I don't recommend it. But I know that I'm not the only one in this position. I understand there are many people out there like me. I worked with a lot of people who worked in school kitchens. I did work in a school kitchen for 28 years. I did that between, I would milk cows in the morning, cows in the afternoon, and during the middle of the day when my child was at school, I would go in and put a couple hours in food service working in the kitchen cafeteria. Um, I did that for 28 years, and it was all right, but it didn't, I mean, it added to my Social Security. But a lot of the ladies that I worked with didn't have Social Security. They didn't have retirement. So I know that there are people out there, the cashiers at Walmart, or I don't know what they have, or the cashiers at a 7-Eleven, for example, or a convenience store or a gas station. What do you guys do for retirement? I also worked in a daycare, couple hours a day. I didn't have anything, really. I was hustling to bring in the money, to make the money, but at the time I wasn't thinking about retirement. Um, Now my husband has retirement, but it would have helped if I'd have had some as well. So we'll see. You know, I'm not going to play the victim. I coulda, shoulda, woulda done something better. I should have done something better. Um, but here we are, and now we have to deal with it. Uh, I hope you got something out of this video. I hope you enjoyed listening to me talk, and I will see you in the next video. You guys have a great day. Thanks.